Good evening. Welcome to the Fireside Chat, a live session with our dear volunteers. Project Step One is a 100% volunteer-run free telemedicine service. We are a 7-month-old initiative that provides free telemedicine to COVID-19 impacted citizens across 16 states in India, in 18 languages, in fact. We have touched more than 50 lakh lives through 7.5 lakh teleconsultations and prevented about 5 lakh contacts from reducing the COVID-19 spread. I thank the entire community of 7,000 plus doctors that we have who have volunteered with us and who have helped us achieve these milestones every step of the way. I am Shivangsha with my co-host Shruti, and we are citizen volunteers at Project Step One.
Hello everyone, and I welcome you all.
Today we have Dr. Nihad, Dr. Halima, and Dr. Pramila with us. Let us hear a bit about them from them. Dr. Halima, we'll start with you now.
Yeah, thank you, Shivangsha. I'm Dr. Halima Yazdani. I'm a general physician with 19 years of experience, and I reside and treat patients by telemedicine modem in Bangalore. And Project Step One definitely provides a very good medium for the same. I joined Project Step One in the year of 2020, of course, in the month of March. And from then, I have been treating patients not only in Karnataka and Bangalore, but have been triaging patients pan-India at the National Helpline. And I have also been a part of Delhi group, wherein we are triaging and treating COVID-positive patients. And it has definitely been a very good experience. And it feels very nice to be a part of the whole project. It's really enterprising. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Halima. I would like Dr. Pramila to tell a little bit about yourself and your life outside of Step One, please. Dr. Pramila, you're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Hi. Once again, good evening. And I'm Dr. Pramila from Kerala, Cochin. And basically, I've done my child development and setting up a unit in one of the premier institutes in Cochin. And my husband's a pain and palliation consultant, and my daughter's doing her pediatric endocrinology fellowship in Houston, and my son is doing his PhD in astrophysics in Australian National University. Basically, I love volunteering, and I have always been doing social service. Was running a special school for more than 12 years, and also, like when this COVID started, I was volunteering for my own state of Kerala telemedicine unit. And once I got to know about Step One about 5 months ago, there was no turning back. I joined the group, and I have absolutely no regrets. In fact, it's given me so much to be thankful about, and I've been triaging and helping out patients in Delhi from the comforts of my own home in Cochin. So thank you, Step One, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pramila, for sharing what you feel about us and about volunteering. Dr. Nihad, it would be great if you could go next.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Nihad Nilofar. I've been volunteering with Project Step One since March 2020. I'm a graduate from MS Ramaiah Medical College in Bangalore, and presently I'm a private practitioner. When COVID-19 struck, I was busy with my home health issues with my mom, and I was just looking for a way to give back even though I was stuck at home. And the Project Step One app seemed to be the best one because I could sit at home, use the app with just a smartphone, call, triage, reassure patients at any time of the day and from anywhere. And this was really important for me. I live in Bangalore, and I managed to speak about 3 to 4 languages, just manage, not fluent. But this helped me when I spoke to Delhi and Karnataka patients with whom I've been working for quite some time now. And at home, I have a teenage daughter, and I think you would have seen there's this two cute but very bossy nieces who are always encouraging me to do more calls. And beyond the life of medicine, I love books. And actually through Step One, I've found quite a few book lover friends. So step one is making a big difference in my life, because I was feeling quite frustrated initially that I was not able to go out and do my work as my husband, who's like a frontline COVID warrior, could do, and I could not do that. But at least this I can do something. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nihad. It is so inspiring to hear your words. You have reached out to actually more than 3,000 patients with step one, and then you typically do about 30 cases in a day. We and all the doctors would really like to know how you manage to do this. What is your secret mantra for doing this?
Step one actually gets like 4,000 to 6,000 calls from patients regarding medical assistance. So we triage the positive patients, and from my experience in working in the ER department, I know that triaging should be done in the shortest possible time to reach out to the most critical patients fastest. So what I typically do is, like my mantra, what you're saying, I just spend a minimum of 2 to 3 minutes talking to the patient or his attender, and immediately try to assess whether he can stay at home or he needs a hospital. And of course, when there is a hospital. But then we have all these home isolation patients who need a little more of our time, more of reassurance, so that we can spend a little later, once we know that they're not critical. So when you tell mantra, it's mainly like I tell myself, I should do 10 calls at least per day. Not always able to do this. I have so many other commitments, but just remembering that. And then I have these boss babies at home who ask me every day how much I've done. And Shivangsha herself sends all these inspiring quotes, to make me feel guilty the next day when I've not done anything. But it's not about the numbers actually. Even one call, if a doctor makes, that is, that's something great for us, because every call is doing your bit to help in this COVID. And I feel that step one volunteers, both medical and non-medical, are proving that you need not wait even a single moment before you start to improve the world you live in.
Thank you so much. That's great to hear. And for all of our doctors, how your ER experience of triaging quickly will probably help reaching out more patients on a day-to-day basis. We have Dr. Halima, who is a veteran in telemedicine practice. So, Dr. Halima, how was your experience? How has your experience been with step one and overall telemedicine practice as such?
I definitely adore practicing telemedicine, just because it makes the field of medicine or doctors accessible to everyone. It doesn't require people to come down from anywhere, from any part of the world or any part of the nation to see a particular doctor. All it requires is to be a little bit tech savvy and to reach out the doctor at the earliest. So I'm very glad that we're able to reach out to nook and corner of India, pan-India, and help or treat COVID patients who are actually suffering during this pandemic. People who are scared to come out of their houses, people who are scared to, in fact, not only COVID-19. Of course, Project Step 1 is dealing basically with COVID-19, but as a telemedicine consultant, I'm seeing patients for different other ailments also, and people are reluctant to go to hospitals. So this is how that telemedicine is definitely a very good medium, wherein people don't need to shun away from their problems. They can easily take the phone and connect with the doctor and get the problem sorted out. Even if it is midnight, there are doctors who are accessible to telemedicine platform, and the problem can be solved at the earliest. And Project Step 1, as I already told you, is providing a very good medium to triage and treat COVID-19 patients through telemedicine and digital medicine. It has really helped us that we are able to reach out to thousands of ailing patients out there, reassure them that nothing is going to go wrong. Because initially, when the pandemic broke out, people definitely thought COVID-19 is the end of the world. COVID-19 is the end of life. It is not so. We're able to tell them what the reality is. We're able to tell them what exactly it could mean. And we're able to educate people about COVID-19 and pull them out of their fears. And I forgot to mention that, apart from doing this work, I basically am a mother also. So I'm busy with my toddler most of the time. But still, I'm very glad that Step 1 has given me a a very good medium to reach out to people and help alleviate their fears and their problems. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Halima. I totally agree with your words that telemedicine is the next best thing. It's such a boon. We have a national helpline and Project Step One that has calls coming from remotest of the villages where probably they don't have any doctors or specialists, or even closest hospital is about 15 kilometers away. So something like telemedicine is indeed, the way to go in future. Dr. Premila, what has been your challenge in the last 5 months that you have worked with thousands of patients? What are your observations?
I think basically there has been a change in the society and the attitude towards this disease in general. Initially, it was more of a fear factor, I would say, and people would hesitate to test, and they don't want to accept that they have the problem. But now I see lots and lots of people coming forwards, even with the slightest doubt of, even without any symptoms, if some colleague tests positive, or they say we just want to rule out, because we know that when we test, we know that we are positive and we can stop the spreading of the disease. So that in that way, people are more aware, definitely. But at the same time, I think also many people have understood that there is also a time when you need to detect early, and in case there is a problem, you need to go to the hospital early. So that's what we have been as volunteers. Earlier when we say hospital, they would say, no, please don't. I remember one old man crying, saying that he doesn't want to go to the hospital. But now I think slowly things are changing, and people know that they need to go and they can get cured. That's the basic thing I think people have learned, that more people live with the disease rather than die with the disease. So that has helped, I think, the society.
Right. There's so much learning that happens on a day-to-day basis for you as doctors and for you as a patient as well, Dr. Premila. Would you, as a COVID-19 survivor yourself, what would you, would you like to share your experience with us?
Yes, I think being a warrior and a COVID survivor, there's a slight difference, because you have been to the other side of the fence and seen what it is. And basically, like myself and my husband tested positive, and I did not have much symptoms. Of course, I did have fever, headache, and things like that, which I'm now able to relate to when the patients are telling me. And my husband, of course, had a little more serious problems, but of course, he came out of it, and we are very thankful that the medicines, the early detection, and especially the pulse oximeter, which detected that his saturation was going down. That helped us go to the hospital on time and starting the treatment on time. And so, that makes a big difference. And I would make an appeal to everybody that people should be aware of this problem of hypoxia, happy hypoxia, and because they may not have symptoms of breathlessness, which my husband. So I think this message I would definitely like to share with everybody. The importance of keeping a thermometer, a pulse oximeter, and if you're a diabetic, even a glucometer at home, because all these really makes things easier when somebody at home gets the disease.
All right, Dr. Premila. So an oximeter and an apple is what you need every day then in that case. That's good to know. But there are a lot of myths out there for COVID-19 when it comes to COVID-19. We have listed 5 most common myths over here, and I would request you doctors to point these out as truth or a myth. Drinking hot water every day can prevent COVID-19. Dr. Halima?
It's a myth, but definitely steam inhalation would help better way than drinking hot water and getting boils all around your throat. So the best thing would be take steam inhalation at least twice a day. That would definitely help and go along.
Right. Antibiotics prevent COVID-19. Again, Dr. Halima, another myth for you to bust.
Antibiotics definitely prevent secondary infection, but COVID is a virus. It doesn't get treated by antibiotics. But yes, we can prevent secondary infections by starting early antibiotics. It doesn't treat COVID.
Okay. Dr. Nihad, only old people can be infected by coronavirus or COVID-19.
Yeah, that's why the youngsters go out and get the virus home. It's actually something that everyone even believes even now after 5 months of seeing how many youngsters have been infected. it's very sad because what youngsters are doing is going out, not wearing masks and thinking that they have the immunity power to not get infected. And then I've had patients crying and telling me that they are the ones who got their parents into the ICU. It's not that they're not getting infected. They are getting infected. Maybe the level is lesser than seen in the elders.
Very important thing to note. Thank you so much, doctor. Taking vaccination for pneumonia will prevent COVID-19. Another myth for Dr. Nihal to bust.
They are two completely different diseases, and I don't think that is going to help in any way unless the COVID-19 patient also has a pneumonia. But otherwise, I don't think that's going to help. We are yet to find any vaccine. The only vaccine we have now is a mask.
Right. So then that points us to the next myth. Wearing masks for prolonged periods can cause intoxication. Dr. Premila, would you like to tell me something about that? Tell all viewers.
Yeah, again, I would say it's a myth. Definitely it is uncomfortable maybe, but it does not cause intoxication unless you're having that valve kind of mask. It's best to have a proper mask which is fitting well. And the fitting is very important. Many people around walking around with masks. They have their masks just below the nose, sometimes below the chin, and sometimes even like a necklace or something like that. That doesn't help at all. So, of course, it is a bit. We are not used to wearing masks all the time, so maybe you feel uncomfortable a bit. But definitely, it does not cause intoxication or anything like that. You need to wear a correct fitting mask all the time, especially when you are going out. That is the most important. And as Dr. Nihad and Dr. Halima said, this is the only vaccination or preventive measure we have with us at present, other than, of course, hand washing and safe distance.
Sure, doctor. Thank you so much. We'll start taking some audience questions now. Shruti is going to help us with the queries. Shruti's first question from our audience that we have right now is, what if a patient is diagnosed with COVID positive along with pneumonia? Dr. Halima, could you please elaborate on answer this question?
Positive patient definitely causes usually have pneumonia itself. If you're talking about different kind of pneumonia, which is a bacterial pneumonia, then it has to be extensively investigated about the immune status of the patient. They have to see why the patient has double infection. If they do have double infection, then earlier would be the best thing to hospitalize the patient, start the antiviral therapy earliest, along with antibiotics, and monitor regularly, just to check about the hypoxia and all that. I think hospitalization early will be the key for double infection. We'll be talking about bacterial as well as viral pneumonia.
Thank you, Doctor. Shruti, do we have any other questions from the audience?
Yes, there is one more question which says there are a lot of messages about preventive measures and immunity boostings. As doctors, what are the best supplements or diet for boosting immunity? That is one question.
Dr. Premila, would you like to answer that question, please?
Yes, I would say, immunity boosters suddenly taking only during COVID period is not the answer. Actually, all of us are supposed to take healthy balanced diet throughout our life. But of course, that's not happening. So at least taking immunity. But again, there are a lot of wrong myths about different brands of, I wouldn't go into different branches of medicine which claim that this is good for immunity and things like that. We basically advise only vitamin C and zinc and multivitamins or something like that. But again, only taking during COVID is not the answer. Immunity is something which you need to be having all the time. And as youngsters, we must all be. Diet definitely plays a major role in our immunity, and the wrong diet and the wrong habits definitely decrease the immunity. So that's what I wouldn't advise. Basically, immunity boosters to boost your, suddenly take something and then your immunity just comes up. I don't believe in such things.
So there is no magic pill, unfortunately. So, Shruti?
Yes. So there is one more very interesting question, I think, which we already discussed in the myths or bust. So here there are there any preventive medicines one can take for COVID?
Dr. Nihal?
I wish.
We wish.
No magic pills here.
There is nothing. The only prevention, like we have always been telling, is wear a mask, sanitize, and social distancing. From the beginning, not only in India, when it first started from Wuhan, I think every doctor has been telling this, where just do social distancing, because even if you have a cold, you're advised not to go to the office and spread it around. And then we find that this is a virus which can go just spread so fast. So even now we are just continuously telling the same thing: wear a mask, a tight fitting mask which covers your mouth and your nose. It's not meant to cover your beard, it's meant to cover your nose and mouth, because it's aerosols. And then the second thing is social distancing. Do not go out unless it's required. Going out for work is different from going out for leisure. And then come home, wash your hands whenever you know that you have touched unwanted things. If you can carry a sanitizer, that's best. So there's nothing that can prevent. I have had a lot of patients telling me that I've taken these immunity boosters, I've been doing steam inhalation, I've been taking a lot of other things, and you still have COVID. I have to tell them, you still have COVID in spite of doing all that, because you have been going out without a mask.
Thank you so much. Yes, there is no magic pill like our doctors just mentioned, and we have to maintain social distancing.
Shivansha, I would like to add one thing in this.
Sure.
Yeah. If you talk about prevention, yes, 3 to 4 things are very important at this point in time. Drink a lot of water, keep well hydrated, sleep at least 8 hours, if possible 9 hours a day, because when you sleep, that is when your body builds up the immunity. Your body builds up the power to fight the next day. So sleep well, stay relaxed, do not get overstressed. I think these 3 things are very important to prevent as well as to stay healthy.
I could just hear sleep well. I think that is something that I'm going to practice besides all the things that everybody told.
It does help to build immunity, actually. It has been proven.
Sure,
at least to max of 9 if you can.
The doctors have always been telling these things,
but we don't
have never. Yeah, patients have never taken it.
I wish all the doctors practice this as well. I mean, besides suggesting this to everyone.
We can't.
All right. Before we close our chat session for the evening, is there anything you would like to say to the doctors in the audience? Dr. Halima, I would like to go with you first. If you have something.
I would appeal all my colleagues to please join this fight against COVID-19. Join Step 1 as we are working as a team, and definitely this is going a long way. We are helping many people out there. Please join Project Step 1 to volunteer as a doctor. Thank you.
Dr. Nihad, anything from your end?
I have the same appeal to all my fellow colleagues. If you feel that you don't have time to do this, I am asking only for 1 hour of your time. 1 hour of your time at any place that you are, in your office, in your workplace. The app is so easy to use, like I've said before, and you just need to, make maybe even 5 patients a day. Start with 5 patients. That's enough, because our aim is to reach out to all the patients who have called us and reach out to all the critical patients. And I'm sure with more doctors joining, we can do that. So please join us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nihad. Dr. Premila, anything from your end?
Yes, I would add on that, happiness is definitely what we have to share with others and to help others. That gives each one of us immense happiness. And this is something which each one of us, our colleagues from anywhere, as the other doctors did mention, from the comfort of your own homes, even if you have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you put your availability. This app, I would like to stress, like the other doctors, it's so very easy to use. You just need a smartphone, and you can put it on, and you could spend maybe even 1 or 2 patients at a time. You don't have to sit continuously for an hour. In between your work, you just help out 1 or 2 patients, then again go back to your work. You can definitely do that from the comfort of your homes, and there is no better reward than talking to them and helping out these patients who are so happy that many of them, they just want to hear your voice, and they have so many doubts, and talking to them for 5-10 minutes, at the end of it, you are not seeing their face, but I can feel the smile. I can feel that they are much more relieved. So I would suggest that more and more of our colleagues who, being a COVID warrior is different when you go to the open and do, that is also needed. But definitely from your own, there are many of us who are not going full time outside for work. So at least those kind of colleagues, I would make a sincere appeal. Please do join this group of volunteers who are each one of them is doing human service to this society, and I'm sure you will not regret joining this project step 1. And I think they will be flashing the number on the screen, whom to contact. So all those of you all who are watching this program, please do join this team and be part of our fight against COVID battle, because it's not ending. I don't see it ending anytime very, very soon. At least we have to still wait.
Right, Doctor. It is so nice to hear that, suggestion that in between your work, just call one patient or two patients and then go back to your work. That is exactly what we need. And like you can see on the screen, appeal to all the doctors to give a missed call to 080-471 92219. That is the number for for enrolling with us to be a COVID warrior, to fight against COVID. And with that, we conclude our fireside session. And please join us again for our next episode next Thursday, 15th of October 2020. We will continue our discussion with a new set of doctors about how to cope up with COVID-19 and new set of experiences. So meanwhile, please do leave your suggestions and queries in the comments and help us make Step 1 fireside chat sessions better. So stay safe, stay happy, and like our doctors said, maintain social distancing and sleep very well.